Hello everybody, my name is Connor, aka OKayFabe here. Welcome back guys to another edition of the Smackdown Rebound. We are talking about the Smackdown from November the 14th, 2017 is the go-home Smackdown for Survivor Series. And boy, it's a bit bad thing that I'm wearing a red shirt on a Smackdown review, is it? I mean, that Raw just absolutely decimating and attacking and fully invading on SmackDown Live this week. Absolutely crazy, absolute insanity, but we're going to talk about all the results here. Now, before we get into the review, you guys know the routine, you guys know the deal. Love to hear your thoughts on this week's SmackDown. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and let me know who you think is going to come out the victor at Survivor Series between Raw, SmackDown, the champions, the whose was it. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to OneWrestling.com, of course, One Wrestling Videos YouTube channel, so you guys get all the fun stuff and your constant 24/7 pro wrestling news and sources right here on OneWrestling.com. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you hit that big old thumbs up button, and of course, if you guys want to share your thoughts on social media, make sure you follow myself and the entire OneWrestling.com family over on social media. Of course, you can follow me at OKayFabe. You can follow the One Wrestling Twitter at One Wrestling, and of course, the entire OneWrestling.com family. Again, Big Ray, the entire Big Slam Nation, and of course, the legendary, the iconic Mr. Bill After and After One Wrestling. Make sure you give us all a follow and let us know what you guys think of Survivor Series and this week's SmackDown. And I'm getting hot flashes just talking about the SmackDown this week. It was insane. It was crazy. New champion, Raw attacking. It was absolutely just craziness and chaos. So let's break it down. Shane McMahon actually kicking things off with actually trying to get the roster really pumped up, saying that this roster has done something that no other roster before had done, no other SmackDown roster had done previously, and that's put Raw under siege. They said tonight might be the night Raw retaliates. They have to stay on the same page and be prepared. And then he goes that Sunday they will be known as the dominant brand. They're not going to be the B show. They're going to be the show. I just thought that was a very clever line the whole night. He asks how Becky Lynch is, what they're going to do to the Raw women's team. Of course, she says they're going to break their arm. Says to Baron Corbin and Sin Cara they're going to take down The Miz. And of course, mentioned how Triple H was added to the Raw Men's Survivor Series team, to which they retaliated with John Cena being added to the Men's SmackDown team. I'm telling you guys, I'm really, really pumped for Survivor Series this year. I'm not going to lie. On Sunday, they'll survive, dominate, and nobody can stop them now. Not Kurt Angle, not Stephanie McMahon, and certainly not The Shield. Of course, Kofi Kingston from The New Day gets on the mic and say they are not worried about The Shield, and Wood says they accept the challenge, and why? Because Smackdown rocks. That's right now, Smackdown rocks. Bring it home now, Smackdown rocks. Okay, I can't do it as good as The New Day, but I think you guys get the idea. Anyway, we get into the live to the arena, and that's when Bryan makes his triumphant return. He's going to recap of what happened with him on Raw, where Kane attacked him. Team hell no, right? I guess not forever. And of course, talking about how he's great to be back on SmackDown. To be honest, after being chokeslammed by Kane, he's lucky to be standing. Partially, it's his fault for going to Raw without telling anyone and trying to make peace, but should have known better as soon as he saw Stephanie McMahon. But that's the thing about him and SmackDown, is that they won't stay down. They get back and hit twice as hard. That's why Raw is scared enough to add Triple H to the Survivor Series team. Not just afraid, but also embarrassed, because the 25th anniversary of Raw is coming up, and SmackDown just ransacked Raw. That's something that he said he didn't agree with, because he knows how vindictive Seth can be, and there's a very good chance that Raw could counteract tonight. I feel like that's a eerie premonition. They're not afraid, though. They'll be ready, and that's why he bleeds Team Blue. He's proud of this show, the performers, and the heart of every single person in the back. And this Sunday at Survivor Series, they're going to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that SmackDown is a better show. Of course, for example, SmackDown added John Cena as the last member of their men's team, and of course is proud to introduce the WWE Champion, the new WWE Champion, the phenomenal AJ Styles. He brings AJ Styles out and actually does something a little interesting, where Bryan acts as the advocate for AJ Styles for one night only. And I gotta say, as much as I'm a huge fan of Mr. Paul Heyman, I respect his work. I thought Bryan did an okay job. He's definitely no Mr. Paul Heyman. I'm sorry, but still, it was entertaining to say the least. Putting over AJ Styles, mentioning all his accolades, and talking about how Brock Lesnar seems to quit all the time, and how AJ is going to push him into deep waters, and you only can last in deep waters. You can only last 10 minutes, and Brock will get pushed against the wall and mentally quit. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of speculation here. I'm just saying maybe not a good idea to tell your opponent that you quit all the time and make him agitated right before your match. But AJ points out that he's not a puppet. He can actually talk, unlike Brock Lesnar, and fatigue makes puppets of us all. It might take Lesnar on Sunday, but he agrees with Heyman. He's an underdog for sure. He's wrong on one thing, though. This isn't a Rocky movie. It's an AJ Styles production. He'll find a way with his last breath in his body to beat Brock and prove that SmackDown is indeed the house that AJ Styles built. I don't have the gloves. I need to get the gloves. After the commercial break, we see AJ walking when Jinder rolls up and says that after Brock rips him apart limb from limb, that loss will be nothing compared to when the modern-day Maharaja wins back the WWE Championship from AJ Styles. I really enjoyed this opening segment between Shane's hype-up of the whole team and Daniel Bryan putting, AJ on the map. I think that was very important because, of course, we did see the title change last week. And so it's important to kind of showcase the importance of AJ as champion. And understandably so. I think that was definitely a necessity because of the quick title change. And not to say that AJ's accolades aren't phenomenal, for lack of a better word. But obviously, you have to kind of really change up the focus here. It's a lot's changed in 9 days, folks. And Survivor Series is looking just as strong as ever. We get to our first championship match between Baron Corbin and Sin Cara. Sin Cara, part of me was kind of rooting for him, but with all the banter between Baron Corbin and The Miz lately, it's kind of hard not to root for Baron Corbin. I thought that Sin Cara put on a decent effort and actually, put some decent offense here, but at the end of the day, it was mostly Baron Corbin hitting in the end of days and win via pinfall and retaining the United States Championship. Very good opening contest between the two. But of course, we then roll into, before we get to our next matchup, we see an intriguing segment between Shane McMahon on Daniel Bryan backstage and welcoming back. Shane talks about stressing cohesion tonight, and Bryan agrees, which is why they have to have a conversation about after Survivor Series. Shane never spoke with him about the raid, and he paid the price when he tried to make peace. Shane tries to plead his case, but Bryan tells him he'll see him on Sunday and just simply takes his leave. Some possible dissension between commissioner and general manager. Hope that doesn't happen on SmackDown. I'm just saying. I'm a little biased, but I should really not be wearing a red shirt on a SmackDown review. I'm just throwing that out there. We move on to the Women's Championship match between SmackDown's Women's Champion Natalya defending against Charlotte Flair. Unfortunately for Natalya, it was not meant to be as Charlotte winning for the first time in her career the SmackDown Women's Championship. This matchup was extremely hard-hitting, as pretty much most of the time is between Charlotte and Natalya. I would definitely compliment the women on this great matchup. I think their matchup at NXT still holds a special place in my heart for the NXT Women's Championship, but this one was definitely, in my opinion, better than their Hell in a Cell performance. You're never going to get a bad performance when you put in Natalya and Charlotte, of course, two second generation women's wrestlers. They don't put on a bad match every time they're in the ring, but there are some matches that in comparison were a little bit better compared to their other ones, and in my opinion, while this one wasn't their best, it was certainly better than what we've got from Hell in a Cell from the last time these two women fought. And now Charlotte once again rises through the ranks and makes history as she is now the first woman ever to hold the NXT Women's Championship, the Divas Championship, the Raw Women's, and the SmackDown Women's Championship, and the second woman ever to hold both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship. Coincidentally, the first person is her opponent at Survivor Series, Alexa Bliss. She's interviewed immediately after the victory after she makes Natalya tap out to the figure 8 leg lock, talking about how, of course, she's in Charlotte and it's her hometown. And ever since the Superstar Shakeup, this is the title that she's been wanting every single day, and she's worked hard 24/7 for it. And it took a little longer than she thought, but she's winning in her hometown means everything. Talks about Alexa Bliss, and she says she will bow down to the queen because there was a queen of Raw before there was a goddess, and she'll win for Team Blue. And of course, mentions the ups and downs between Ric Flair and the family, and of course, just all the craziness that's been going on with them, and how it really meant a lot for her, and that the win tonight was for her father, Ric Flair. Halfway up the ramp, though, she is greeted by her father, as it is a little bit of a surprise. Just, really good feel-good moment. I am a huge Ric Flair fan. I've always been a Flair fan. I'm a huge fan of the Four Horsemen. They've always been my favorite group of all time. And to see what Ric Flair has gone through, and the family has gone through, I can't imagine the last couple of months with Ric Flair's health issues and the scare coming back. He looked fantastic, by the way. Then the 30 for 30 documentary coming out, and just it was a great redemption story, and I cannot wait to see what happens between Charlotte and Alexa Bliss this Sunday. We get a hype up for the Bludgeon Brothers once again. They have something against cameras. I don't know why, as they take out another camera, mentioning that they will be here next week on SmackDown. We get Chad Gable versus Jimmy Uso, as Jimmy Uso cuts a quick promo with his brother Jay about taking out Cesaro and Sheamus, and mentioning, coincidentally, that it was the two of them last time at Survivor Series when it was the 5-team Survivor Series match between Raw and SmackDown. So very interesting on that note, and if it's going to be anything like last year from what I remember, that's going to be another match to really look forward to. Chad Gable getting a lot of offense here, but at the end of the day, Jimmy Uso was the one who wins via a super kick. A little shorter match than expected, and kind of interesting. I guess Gable and Benjamin are now heels, which is weird. I didn't expect that. I didn't see that one coming, but they powdered out as soon as the Usos hit the ring, so very odd. But still, Gable getting a lot of the offense in, but after some confusion outside, Jimmy Uso gets the pinfall victory via a super kick. We see a quick backstage segment with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens talking about how frustrated they are they're left off Survivor Series. It's all Shane McMahon's fault. They talk about the A show, the B show. The only thing that matters is the Sami and the Kevin show. As we roll into the main event, which is Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn against the New Days, Big E and Xavier Woods. We do hear a promo from New Day, hyping up, of course, their match with the Shield at Survivor Series. Again, another matchup that I cannot wait for. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. The matchup actually is a pretty decent back and forth between both tag teams as things progress, but unfortunately, as Big E gets the hot tag in from Xavier Woods and cleans house, that's when we hear the all too familiar Shield entrance music. Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns make their way down, and bear with me on these notes, folks, because this is where things get a little crazy. As the Shield members enter the ring, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn leave, as would be expected, as they continue to brawl with each other. As this goes on, the Usos then make their way down to the ring to help out Team SmackDown, but it was interesting the Usos stopped dead in their track when they saw Roman Reigns, which allowed Dean and Seth to get the upper hand. Then the Bar make their way out, and at that point, folks, it's all freaking chaos. Other Raw men showed up. Shane comes out with more SmackDown guys, and that's when we hear the ill scream of Mr. Braun freaking Strowman. Strowman comes out and just starts laying waste to Shinsuke Nakamura, the Hype Bros, and even Shane McMahon. He actually takes out Shane McMahon as Raw basically gets the upper hand, wiping out everybody around SmackDown. It's absolute craziness. The Shield actually is holding Shane McMahon's face up against different areas of the ring, showing what's happening to the likes of Dolph Ziggler and the New Day, and just all the decimation lay waste. And finally, they hold him as Kurt Angle makes his way down to the ring. The Shield hit a triple powerbomb, not once, but twice. They hit a triple powerbomb the first time. And of course, Shield hold up McMahon as Angle gets in the ring and stares him down the face, asking him how it feels, and if you think this is bad, wait till Sunday. Hit the first triple powerbomb, they're not done yet. Angle hits the ankle slam, then Braun gets in the ring, and of course, then they hit a second triple powerbomb as Raw gathers on top of the stage, staring in just victory, wiping out SmackDown. Again, I feel really uncomfortable wearing a red shirt on the SmackDown review. Man, for me, go-home shows, the last shows that you see before a pay-per-view is always what really hypes me up. It's supposed to, the job is, in my opinion, to get you invested and to make you want to see what happens at the pay-per-view at Sunday. And man, SmackDown did just that. Or was it Raw, really? I think a combination of Charlotte Flair winning the championship and seeing all the craziness and chaos. By the way, the SmackDown women also got laid out backstage by the Raw women. That was another part I forgot to mention. Again, so much craziness and chaos. But that chaos is what makes you intrigued and invested. I think that Raw hasn't had the upper hand for majority of this. I think the Boy Blue brand here actually been dominating really much on on Raw. So for them to lay waste like this was a huge upset, especially with Braun Strowman in there. It just really makes me really excited to see exactly what goes down this Sunday. Survivor Series, it's Raw versus SmackDown. Who do you have to win? What do you guys think of this week's SmackDown? Again, let me know down in the comments section below. Let us know on social media at OKayFabe, at One Wrestling, of course, at After One Wrestling on Twitter. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, One Wrestling Video, and of course, check out OneWrestling.com for all your Survivor Series weekend coverage. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Appreciate the continued love and support, and of course, to quote the legendary, the iconic Mr. Bill Apter, we will see you at the matches.